I believe the trauma you have experienced does not have to hold you back from thriving in your life. Because even though you didn't choose what happened to you, you get to choose how you respond and who you become. I remember a time not too long ago, I was sitting in the witness stand. My heart was pounding, I had knots in my stomach. I was finally facing my perpetrator. The man who had robbed me of my childhood, my freedom, and my power to choose. And the irony in all of this was the very thing that he had taken from me was what I was using to hold him accountable and to stand up to him for what he had done to me. Now, this hadn't always come easy to me. I remember a time about 12 years ago, I was in a really dark place. I felt like I was being buried alive. And I literally relinquished my power to choose. My dad had just passed away unexpectedly. My marriage was strained, our home was in foreclosure, and I had just suffered through 3 really difficult miscarriages. And it was during this time at the age of 35 years old that all these memories of the sexual abuse I'd experienced as a child came flooding back. And there was a time when I didn't think I could go on. And up until that point, I had been counselor hopping, trying to find someone who could fix me. And I got to that point where I believed that I was destined for a life of misery and pain and suffering. But fortunately, I found a man who taught me differently. I ended up in his office and I was sitting in his chair. I was giving him my spill and he stopped me and he said, "Jennifer, you don't have to be the victim anymore. You can choose to free yourself." Now, I may have been told this before, but this was the first time I listened. And I vowed from that moment on that I was going to crack the code on my trauma, and I was not going to let it hold me prisoner any longer. And this took me on a discovery of learning and studying and training so that I could learn how to overcome trauma. And that is how the DIG was developed. A process that helps you break free from the prison within. Because it's not what happens to you that causes all the chaos in your life and suffering. It's what you believe about it. You don't have to be afraid of your trauma, your past, or your future, or your fears, because with the DIG, you have a tool that can help you overcome that and ultimately leading you to deeper happiness and peace and freedom than you ever thought was possible. Now, going back to that witness stand, after a long trial, my perpetrator was convicted to 402 years in prison, the maximum sentence. Now, you might think that that was a victory, but I had won long before I got to that witness stand, because I had learned how to free myself. And that is what I want to help you to do. Because helping you break free from the trauma by using the DIG is what I do. Reminding you that you have the power to choose, no matter what you've been through, is who I am.